Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a preview for Web of Spider-Man #1, featuring a beautiful cover by Greg Capullo. Hopefully I can get this at my shop. I wasn't aware this book was coming out. So this is going to feature the first taste of the biggest stories for Spider-Man universe of 2024. So we'll definitely have a lot of creators. So let's talk about some of them. So we have writers like Zeb Wells, who's currently working on Amazing Spider-Man, Alex Segura, Greg Weisman, who's I believe is working on the Spectacular Spider-Man. That's the book with Miles and Peter. Stephanie Phillips doing a new Wen book, Spider-Wen book, and Steve Foxe also will be doing a story here. We also have artists like Ed McGuinness, Eric Gapstur, Salvador Larroca, and plenty more. So, really excited to get into this book, only because I know it's going to tease a lot of really cool stuff coming up for Spider Man. Recently, I did a short video on the shorts on YouTube that you can see where I kind of talked a little bit about all the current ongoing or most of the ongoing Spider-Man books. So this is really just going to add to that and see what's in the future of this. So it looks like 2024 is primed to be one of the biggest years in Spider history. And you've only seen the tip of the iceberg. In the pages of this one shot, we're going to lay out some of the biggest upcoming Spider stories and characters in the Spider Verse through the beginning of 2025, and you aren't gonna want to miss this. So I think one cool thing about a book like this, and I mentioned this with books like that are anthologies and stuff like that, is that you get a lot of bang for your buck, right? You get a lot of different creators working on stories. You get a lot of different artists. You get a lot of different little looks at different characters, and we'll go through some of that in the preview pages in a minute. So it's very exciting, but also this book might have some really cool first appearances or teases of upcoming stuff. So like you definitely, if you're as a collector, you probably want to pick this up, especially because this is something you can take to a convention, get signed by a bunch of people. So let's take a look at some of the preview art. And I don't know exactly who's doing what pages. Unfortunately, I'm not good enough to recognize that. But here we see the current Madam Web. In the first page. We also see the second story or a story here that seems to be following Miles. We also see the Golden Goblin. And if we go to the next few pages, we see Chasm. We see the Scarlet Spider Kane, which is one of my favorite characters. I'm glad to see him back in the pages. And of course, we see Miguel O'Hara. So we know that there's going to be a story here about Wen as well. And we also know that there's no Peter on this story so far, but I mean, that's probably going to clash with the Chasm story. So very cool stuff, really interesting. I do want to pull up some of the variants covers before we get out of here. So as you can see here, we have Chasm versus Peter. So maybe that'll be a conflict that comes into the future. We also have a cover with Peter. And then in this other cover where we see multiple people, we also see we see the Scarlet Spider, but not Kane, right? This is Ben, which is interesting because that doesn't make sense that both of them are on the page. Maybe this was just a miscommunication where they should have drawn Kane, the Scarlet Spider, and they drew Ben, the Scarlet Spider. Because obviously you can't have Chasm and Ben in the same. You also have Spider Woman, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that cover. Really interesting. I think if it's an error, I think that'd be even more of a reason to kind of pick it up and have a collection. So really cool stuff. All right. If you have read this though, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. I'll probably make some short videos breaking up each of the stories. I think that'd be fun. So stay tuned in the channel for that. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.